You're going to be wearing that beanie all year if you don't get laid tonight. Laid, sir? Me, sir? Welcome, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by, once again coming your way with another laser video disc or LaserDisc showcasing video. Today I'm coming at you to showcase a LaserDisc that I meant to get years and years and years and years and years ago, and I always talked myself out of it because I'm like, I got the Blu-ray, like why would I, pay more money to get like a lesser subpar version of this movie. Anyway, I just shut the hell up with the common sense and I went for it. I'm very glad I did. I got a really good quality one. I put it on DVD. Coming your way to showcase the original North American LaserDisc release of Terror Train. All aboard! As we can see on the back here, packaging copyright 1988. CBS Fox Video Incorporated, all rights reserved. This here is a LaserDisc I've been meaning to get for years and years and years and years. Talked myself out of it every time, and this year I just said, you know what, I really should do this before, like, I don't know, if they become more and more rare and more expensive. I really should just do it, and seeing as how this is a movie that takes place in the dead of winter, it's all cold. When it got, to be like late December, early January, I'm like, yeah, I feel like Terror Train season. So I actually went for it, got it, and I'm really glad, having watched it and put it up, put it on DVD. I'm really glad that this is actually a really good version without any rot, any substantial rot or anything. And honestly, I do own the original VHS that came out in 1988 as well, and it was really cool watching the this original film to tape transfer from the late 80s, and I was just like amazed how, even compared to like the Blu-ray, like, I mean, it almost partially disappointed that the film to tape transfer wasn't even more archaic. Like, it's really pretty good. Of course, this is the late 80s, so hopefully by then they can be pretty good. But honestly, it's really pretty good, and it's just a blast from the past, because this is exactly the same film to tape transfer that I watched for the very first time when I saw it for the first time at the age of 15. So it was really cool to see this version again. And like I say, it's even compared to the Blu-ray, it's not the biggest difference in the world, because it always was a more or less kind of a soft movie because of the John Alcott photography and stuff. But really glad to finally freaking have this. And after I got it and watched it and realized I got a really good version of it, or a good disc of it, I was just like so delighted that I was like, finally I have the Terror Train LaserDisc, so I can put this want to rest. But it was a long time coming, I'll tell you that. Once again, with this freaking shrink wrapped on here, it's going to make it a little difficult to take pictures of without reflections, but we'll do our best. As we can see, we've got the original shrink wrap still on it, which is really cool. We do got a hole punch on the CBS Fox logo, which is basically just below the barcode on the back. Life goes on, that doesn't really matter. You've got the mid to late 80s CBS Fox Video logo up on the top corner there. Actually, yeah, $39.95 was the price tag for this, probably late 80s, sometime in the 90s, who knows, whatever. It's a dark version of the theatrical poster, the main image of the Kenny and the conductor hat and the Groucho mask with the knife coming down, the classic Terror Train font in color red on black. I always love me some red on black. Very simple, and it's it's a little, the image is a little dark of the scary Kenny and the conductor cap, but it's also kind of cool how he's like, one of the cool aspects of it being maybe a little too dark is that he's like hiding in the darkness, so that's really kind of cool and creepy. As we pan down to the bottom, we can see copyright 1980, 20th Century Fox Film Corporation, all rights reserved. 20th Century Fox logo center, front and center on the bottom. Bottom corner, laser video disc with your Laser Vision logo, and the other bottom corner, stereo extended play. This is just another weird movie, because I can only assume that in the theater this was a mono movie. It's just like that Phantasm, that ancient Phantasm LaserDisc I showcased. Like, when this was put out in North America in the late 80s, 1988, on VHS and LaserDisc, I can only assume it was originally a mono movie. Like, they did some kind of stereoization, half-ass stereoizing the movie. I don't know how they do it, if they just have some guy in a in a booth with a dial and left and right, and just tell them to like turn the thing back and forth every now and then. I'm not exactly sure how they make these mono movies in the late 80s into kind of half-ass stereo or whatever, but it's never been a stereo that's been any kind of, I guess, amazing stereo or whatever. It's really weird when they decide to, like, who decides to just put a random mono movie and make it like half-ass stereo? It's so weird to me, I just don't get it. Taking a look at the back, what they did with LaserDiscs at the time, CBS Fox video logo up top with this kind of, I don't know, grayish and these lighter gray stripes or whatever. It's just the look at the time. We got a barcode and a hole punch beneath it there. And this is what 20th Century Fox LaserDisc looks like at the time. 4 basic images, revelers outside the train before they get in. The scary whatever scene with whoever's behind that lizard mask and Mitchie there. Publicity still with Jamie Lee Curtis and what's his name, David Copperfield. And one of the most iconic behind the scenes, or I guess I should say stills from the movie, is the killer with his freaking final act mask outfit on and holding the axe up high in a dark train car. A college fraternity hosts a party that turns out to be a real killer in this hot shocker starring Jamie Lee Curtis. The story begins on a snowy New Year's Eve at another party thrown by the fun-loving members of Sigma Phi, during which some older members play a prank on a young pledge. No harm is intended, but the evening ends in tragedy when the joke goes wrong and the pledge suffers a nervous breakdown. Elena, whose boyfriend is a member of Sigma Phi, is present and deeply affected by the incident. Now it's another New Year's Eve, and 2 enterprising frat brothers have designed the ultimate bash. They've rented a train and hired a magician, played by the real-life master magician, David Copperfield, to provide an evening of dazzling magic and illusion. Adding to the fun, everyone is wearing colorful costumes, with the students primed for the party to end all parties. The train chugs out of the station, but there's an uninvited guest on board. A silent killer has joined the party and soon starts playing grisly games of his own, inflicting horrible, bloody deaths on victims he methodically stalks, one by one. At first, the kids attribute their friends' disappearances to party activities, and after each murder, the clever killer dons his victim's mask, making it impossible to keep track of him. By the time Elena and the train conductor realize what's going on, it may be too late. There is no way of communicating with the outside, so it's impossible to call for help, and the train is hurtling through desolate countryside, so there is no safe stopping place. Suddenly, everyone aboard is at the mercy of a madman who appears to be completely unstoppable. If you think you have what it takes, grab a costume and join the party. But expect no mercy when the screaming starts, for you've just climbed aboard the terror train. It's really crazy the spiel they put on the back of the LaserDisc. They have so much more room. It's like they make a little mini novel. It's like you almost don't have to watch the movie after reading it. It's definitely a different spiel than on the back of the VHS released the same year, but true to form, what they did, they got more space so they can put more stuff. As we can see here, there's also a little bit of what they call behind the scenes, which we will read as well. Behind the scenes. Jamie Lee Curtis, who stars as Elena in Terror Train, has had so much success in the thriller genre that she's been dubbed the current queen of horror. But unlike the heroines in the thrillers of another age, Curtis is a different kind of victim. Rather than cowering in fear and screaming helplessly or relying on someone else to save her, she always plays a self-reliant young woman who bravely fights back. For Terror Train, she even choreographed most of her fight scenes, insisting on authenticity and pointing out that the killer Elena faces is not going to merely slap this girl around, while for her part, Elena is absolutely determined to survive. Such a commitment to realism makes Curtis work a little harder, but her films are better and her audiences are more satisfied. This spirit and determination to do it right have earned Jamie Lee Curtis recognition she clearly deserves. Underneath there we can see the abbreviated cast there. Ben Johnson, Jamie Lee Curtis, Hart Brockner, how do you pronounce his last name? Brockner, I think I'll say. David Copperfield, perfectly cast as the magician. Color running time 97 minutes. Catalog number 1665-80. Beneath the line here we can see the abbreviated credits. R, digital sound, copyright 1980, 20th Century Fox Film Corporation, all rights reserved. 20th Century Fox logo. Beneath this other dark line we've just got all your stuff, the address of CBS Fox Video at the time, CX noise reduction logo, and on the very bottom we've got when not in use, place video disc in jacket, in store, in cool, dry place. Bottom corner can be seen printed in USA. Taking a look at the label for side 1, just your standard label that CBS Fox Video was doing at the time. I actually really like it, just a darkish color with the white stripes and the white CBS Fox Video logo. I always like me some red on black, so we've got everything else, most everything else with the exception of the side 1, extended play, and the title of the movie is like red on black, laser vision logo, stereo, copyright information, catalog number, all that kind of stuff. Even looks like we got, once again the address at the time, maybe even still now, who the hell knows, of CBS Fox Video, but this is what the labels look like on LaserDisc in North America in 1988 for CBS Fox Video. And since side 2 looks identical to side 1 except for the tube replacing the 1, we're not going to bother looking at that. Definitely glad I finally went for it and got this Terror Train LaserDisc, one of my favorite movies. Finally got it on LaserDisc. I don't know what took me so long. I guess, like I say, the common sense was keeping me from doing it. I always say to myself, or the common sense would say to myself, you got it on Blu-ray. Why do you want an like an inferior version? And it's like, well, because this is really cool, and it's the film to tape transfer that I saw as a teenager for my very first time, and late 80s LaserDisc. You can put it on DVD. Like, finally the non-common sense side, which was actually kind of a different version of common sense, actually won out this time, and finally added it to the old LaserDisc collection, and finally be able to put it on DVD, and finally have one of my favorite films, the original North American LaserDisc release of it, on LaserDisc. So life is good, and finally got it, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, we'll catch you on the next video.